Hello everybody, I'm back. Earlier I said I was starting an analog television station. Well, this is part 3. I'm going to buy an HDMI to RCA or composite connection. This sells for $100 at JK Electronics. It converts an HDMI signal and converts it to composite. Then, when I got that, I'll get a composite to RF splitter, a signal converter. So I'll have an HDMI to composite, composite to RF, and the AV or composite to RF is called an RF modulator. It modulates the analog composite connection and converts to RF. It requires USB connection powered up, 5 volts, 2 amps. And from the RF modulator to an analog signal booster. So it'll boost the analog frequency to analog station. So how many I need of those? About 400 of them. And then that signal goes to an ultra high frequency splitter. But before I do that, I've got to make sure the RF splitter is all set to analog. I also have to make sure that that the RF modulator, the RF splitter has a surge protector on it, so if lightning hits, the aerial won't go to the transmitter. So what we're going to do is going to get a high quality coax cable going for the aerial, and I'll get a lead pipe, I'll get a lead bar and wire going for the aerial down to earth, and have a screw put on a bolt, put on it, wrap the wire around and put an insert and solder it there, and put the dirt and concrete it so it's earth. Then you get the RF modulator, amplifier sizzle, go to the UHF aerial through splitter. And that will broadcast approximately, if I've got 400 UHF splitters, 400 UHF signal amplifiers set to high, they'll do Tokara, Patera and T-Rail. And do I need it by a CRT television? No, you don't. All you need to do is have a television that's from 2000 to 2026. How do you know it's an analog tuner? Under the tuning method, you put your password in television to get to this tuning circuit. All you do is you unplug your satellite connection. Or, you leave the satellite connection plugged in. You hook up the analog aerial, as you know it's analog. Put it to your UHF aerial, plug the aerial into the television. Then it'll go satellite, terrestrial, and then you go no one analog. So scan for analog. It'll scan, it'll pick up 1 or 2 stations. Once those stations have been picked up, it'll save it. Then you go to the station and you watch it. The picture is clear and stereo sound, nice and stereo sound. It'll be clear as, the picture will be clear and you're able to watch it. What I'll be using for source, I'll be using a Panasonic DVD player, brand new, a Panasonic Blu-ray player, and 2 of those signals go down to the splitter, from the splitter to the aerial. Now, it is not recommended that you put your tongue on the aerial. You get a nasty shock, it could kill you. So the UHF aerial, ultra high frequency aerial, will have a high gain UHF aerial will have the signal. It will transmit that to any television radius of the transmitter. At the moment, I'm collecting retro equipment for my analog station. In my bedroom, I have a 14-inch Panasonic Castle Ray TV, and it works, but the AV connection just started to stop working, so that's why I wanted to get an RF modulator from eBay. So once I got an RF modulator from eBay, and it's come through the mail, what I do is open the pack, hook the buy high quality composite cable, so yellow, white, red. So yellow is a composite, white and red your audio, so it'll be stereo. And once the stereo cable is hooked up to a brand new DVD player and a composite, you have one wire going out to a television, you have a one RCA to two RCA composite and audio, and it goes to television so you can see that what's playing is okay. And once that's set up, once the composite to RF modulator is set up, and you've got a cable going from the television to the DVD player, so what you're seeing on television and you're seeing on the analog station is an analog signal. Is this legal? Yes. Radio Spectrum Management said they do not support analog stations. There's a lot of people around New Zealand that loves analog, like I do. I play records. I've got lots of records to play, and I play records. I'm also setting up for a compact disc player and a cassette player recorder. And once the signal was fed from the HMI to composite to RF to a signal booster amplifier, if I get, say, 400 of them, and it got 250 volts, 250 volts at 50 hertz going through them, and then it goes to the amplifier out on the roof. And a friend of mine, I know a guy does aerials, going to ask him to put an analog splitter in. And all I asked him, once got the lead rod, is to put a high quality power cable from the aerial to the earth on the lead post into the ground, concreted, and it'll earth the aerial from any disruption. Once the analog aerial was working, and I just get some rabbit ears off eBay and put the rabbit ears into the television on RF, then I do an auto scan. It should pick up one or two stations, and if the picture is clear, be perfect. So I'm now collecting DVD movies, children's movies, family movies, and concerts. I'm also collecting Blu-ray movies that are standard Blu-ray or standard Blu-ray 4K. I'm also collecting video cassette recorder tapes and video cassette recorders for the station. If this video is really interesting to you, please give a thumbs up, which helps the channel. Subscribe and hit the bell notification you won't miss any videos. Alexa, volume 10. Alexa, volume 10. Alexa, what is the time?
The time is 10:14 p.m.
10:14. That video is now complete. Great Scott! Is this nuclear? No, this thing is electrical. It requires a 1.3 3 gigawatt power. Gigawatt. Mali. You don't get plutonium in 1955. Sorry mate, you're stuck here. No, I got my girlfriend. We don't know what, all I know is you don't get that from Bob Lighting. We don't know what it is. 1955 at 10:05 a.m. the building gets hit by lightning and the clock never works afterwards. Great Scott! Dun 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 dun. Back to the Future. I'm collecting the trilogy of Back to the Future. I'm also collecting Star Trek TV series, Star Trek movies, Star Wars, everything at family movies and comedy, sci-fi, you name it, I'm collecting it. Like, comment and subscribe. The power is yours.